The undead whale disgorged the delvers onto the streets where they found themselves in a maelstrom of righteous violence. It was barricaded by a haphazard tangle of overturned carts manned by a ragtag militia of fervent-eyed idealists. Above them, a patchwork of flags fluttered in the wind, each representing a different creed. Posters and graffiti on the walls of tenement houses called for direct action, transforming the street into a living manifesto. This was Ideology Town. A dizzying kaleidoscope of beliefs, each more absurd than the last, vied for supremacy. The pull of these ideas was a tangible force, a gravity that threatened to warp the mind. Ideologies could literally grip you, dragging you into their orbit and erasing whatever convictions you previously had. Ethno-corporatism, heretical syndicalism, eco-monarchism, and hundreds more. The only missing option was remaining neutral. And then, a stray bullet whistled from a third-floor window, striking Silas in the head. He dropped with a sickening thud. Panic gripped them as they ducked behind a crumbling wall, then a realization dawned that Sofina had never emerged from the whale's maw with them. Stranded in a city perpetually locked in civil war, the Delvers now had nothing but their grim mission: to locate the sane asylum, to find Echo, to complete a job for a dead client.
Mallet shouts again, Sofina! He runs out towards where the whale is fading away.
Sam is going to keep his head down and scuttle his way over to Silas. Oh, God damn it, fucking, he's going to try and grab his ankle and start dragging him to cover. He's like, we're going to get ourselves shot. Fuck.
Mallet arrives back in the cover just as you're getting in there.
Fuck, he's gone.
Fuck, she's gone.
Oh shit, where is she? I thought she was back there.
I don't know, she never came out.
I think she made a choice. I think perhaps we need to get somewhere else and discuss this, because there are bullets ricocheting.
A choice? What do you mean? Right.
Can I try to make a check to find unoccupied building with smashed windows?
Oh, good check.
Good vibes to hide out in.
Go for it. I will warn you, every roll here is risky.
Ooh.
I've been hammering in the intro on the danger of being pulled in
Yeah.
by ideologies here, and that is essentially the danger of what might happen. I'll be keeping track of a secret new kind of stress that I've invented for specifically ideology, and
Lovely.
a lot of your failures might go to fill that, and as soon as that's filled, which is not too hard to do, you will be abandoning all your beliefs for a set of new ones.
Amazing.
I remove my high 9 in favour for a 5, so I fail and get stressed.
Okay, give us a D10 stress roll, please.
That's a 10.
That's a 10 on
That's
stress
a 0,
dice.
so that means a 10.
Okay. I did not expect this to happen in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Well, I was scanning for buildings, I spied some propaganda.
It makes sense for Neve, right?
Yeah, exactly. She just periscopes up and gets shot in the head with an idea.
Well, Neve, I think you've mentioned before that you've never been to a city.
No?
So this is disorienting. It's all tenement houses, there's boulevards, there's all this cacophony. But yeah, 10 is the amount of stress on the secret ideology stress die.
I like when we test things early.
Your mind is just sucked into this whirlpool. And you're thinking, the free market fourth worldists, they have it right. And they just happen to be on that street up ahead. And they are, they're for free market. And they're fourth worldists.
You're going to have to explain that one to me.
You're going to have to explain that one to me because you're the one who believes it.
Okay. That coffee shop looks great. That'll do.
Right, I can't see it, but go ahead. Come on.
Follow me, follow me.
Can someone
You're
help
gonna
me?
love this place.
Can someone help me with this guy? And I'm like, I've got Silas's body by the thigh.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to lift him.
Yeah, Mallet just lifts him in like a fireman's hold.
Oh God, you're strong.
I'm gonna need to see how are you avoiding the gunfire just in general. But I think you definitely see the buildings she's pointed out.
Yeah, it's directly opposite another coffee shop, which looks exactly the same.
And they're somehow functioning.
That's the free market, baby.
That's the free market, baby. Yeah.
I have an ability that I can do. Is this daytime or nighttime?
I think it's nighttime just because I like the visual of the
Yeah.
gunshots flaring up in
Yeah.
the. Well, let's say it's not nighttime when you can't see anything, but it's
Yeah,
definitely
it's
dark
Hollywood
enough.
nighttime.
So yeah, it's Hollywood nighttime to any direction in the city that you can see. There's explosions with cannons shooting at towers and big blocks of stone falling down.
Yep.
You know, I don't think we had a nighttime scene yet. So
No,
so
this is
let's switch it up.
Yeah, our last war zone was like grey. Mallet has most of Silas, but he's still probably holding like a foot just because of he wants to just be connected to Mallet. He's going to look over at where like the most concentration of gunfire is, and all of the lights that are in a vicinity of him are going to go out.
Oh, nice. Do you need to roll for that, or is that
Nope,
just something that
it just happens. So all the lights are just going to dim instantly, just to kind of black us out.
I think that would do it. Flashes of gunfire that suddenly everything just goes dark and you can almost hear the confusion. So yeah, I think that would allow you a quick run. Like I said, it's not far. If you go into one of the 6 coffee shops on that street corner, what's a coffee shop in the heart would be called?
What's the group? The Fourth World
Free market fourth worldists.
Coffee or
Oh right, this is like a proper
Yeah.
old school, like the coffee houses, like the political center,
Yeah.
like kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh yes,
Amazing. You come in, you see not a massive group, I'd say half a dozen, maybe 7 or 8 people that are huddled together around one of these like longer tables, all having coffee and furiously discussing the free market. Neve, this looks like the place to be. The people you've been with at best tolerated you. They didn't like your squirrels. They didn't like your second squirrel that was worse. You can just sit down and you know that you will immediately be included and feel at home. It's all about the solidarity
And economic theory.
and economic theory.
Mallet drops Silas's body on a table.
A waitress comes out with a tray with coffees. As far as you can tell, there's a blackboard with prices, and I'll say that the price for a latte is the equivalent of like a D12 stress, and a cappuccino
feels
is
real.
like 2 D10s of stress. The cheapest thing on the menu is a glass of water, and it's like a D6 of stress.
oh, I hate it when they charge for war.
And bathroom is only for paying clients.
Oh, this place is hell. This is not a third space.
The waitress would not be concerned with health and safety of having a corpse next to food being served because they're very anti-regulation here.
Why are we here?
To discuss economic theory and its impact on the third world and fourth world.
Did you get hit in the head?
Tiffany, the leader, comes down from the second floor and she immediately starts explaining to you how the pyro anarchists across the street have been attempting to overtake this place and have been spraying graffiti all over the windows and how they obviously need to be eradicated as a plague. You two see they're having a conversation that you are so obviously excluded because they're talking with their own terms. They're like, oh, the line goes up to the moon. And you're like, well, what is going on?
Yeah.
But Neve is immediately, you had no idea that this girl from a tiny village could have such ideas. But yeah, these two, Tiffany and her, are getting along like a house on fire. Are these your friends?
Yeah.
I don't. We just kind
What's
of.
with the corpse?
That's Silas. He's our client.
Client. And she turns her head to a side of the room, and there is just like the most masculine, tall figure wearing no clothes, so you can see,
Oh, hello.
and everything is impressive.
I bet.
And he's holding this massive stone sword that's on fire. I don't know what's his cinder.
Is he one of the pyromaniacs?
Well, yeah, maybe it's confusing. See, Cinder used to be, I don't know why I thought of the names. It's not even a real name, but I'm going with it. Cinder used to be a pyroanarchist,
Mm-hmm.
but he saw the error of his ways.
Yeah.
That's why he's a hero, because he murdered a whole bunch of pyroanarchists from within
Yeah.
and joined these guys.
Yeah.
So you see the statue of him. He's holding this massive sword. Like it's this massive berserk god
Yeah.
sword. Clearly this is a revered figure.
Yeah.
And Tiffany turns to the statue and turns back to you. Even our great Lord Cinder never considered charging corpses. We've charged everything. We've charged the rats that live in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But charging corpses, that's Neve, was it?
Yes.
That is amazing. So how do you make a corpse pay? Because the problem with corpses is that they're dead.
I mean, I've met some very active corpses.
Mm.
I mean, we found one that was in this like hole.
She's trying. You can see her trying to see where how money comes into this.
I know. So we went to this battlefield and all the corpses were alive.
How would you like to run a presentation for the group, and you can make slides and explain how this is going to make us all rich?
Absolutely.
I don't know if we've got time for that, Neve.
Everyone starts clapping. There's like a TED Talk kind of space. You hear sound of feedback. Excuse me, is this thing on? Yeah. Right. So our next speaker will take us to the sun.
She dabbed.
Her name's Neve. She's the most recent addition. It's now 8 of us. So in no time, we'll be taking over Ideology Town. Neve has a great new business venture idea of charging corpses, monetize afterlife. Neve, the floor is yours.
Neve starts explaining how she thinks bring people back from the dead by having them visit the 33rd Regiment. I don't know, maybe we need to conscript into the army to do that, but there's a lot of maybes in her presentation. And also it requires on him like taking over Ideology Town completely to fulfill the plan.
Yeah, that's step number 1.
Step number 1.
I think she's been like brainwashed.
How does she get brainwashed so fast?
I mean,
Every time.
she's got head's wide open. A
Yeah.
lot of different ideas can like butterfly their way through.
You see the crowd has Silas's corpse, and they're like throwing it up in the air like at a football match, and they're all clapping, and they're like, Neve,
Can you just- can you-
Neve.
We are so into shit. Our friend is like turned into that. Sofina's gone. And our job is dead.
Yeah, right, one thing at a time. Let's get Silas back on the table, because this is a bit much.
Just like put him down.
Either make a compel roll or tell me how you're getting Silas's body, because Silas is essentially now crowd surfing.
Oh God.
He's our first employee
Yeah.
of the afterlife.
Have you got compel? Because
To the sun.
Don't.
To the sun.
neither do I. So
Maybe we just fail. I think I'm gonna just like feebly just like they're just gonna be playing with his corpse now.
I don't think Mallet. I'm just looking at his ability sheet and his skills, and I just think he is way out of his depth in this kind of like. First of all, the coffee's too expensive. This ain't the working man's diner that he's used to.
Half of it is foam.
Yeah.
We funnel our profits into buying the coffee from ourselves.
and yeah, he's just the lingo's way above his head. He doesn't know what's happening, and he's getting a little bit annoyed. Did they have watches? They don't have watches.
Sure, why
Oh,
not?
they have
Pocket
watches.
watches,
Would they have
maybe.
watches? Yeah. Mallet's gonna tap his wrist, like, get on with it.
Time is money.
Time is money.
As it just set Neve off on another tangent.
No, I remember time is money. So we need to get on this quick to make the most profit possible. And to do that, we need to start immediately.
If you're 25 and your circle isn't discussing taking over Ideology Town and killing all pyro-anarchists,
But we've got to start now.
yeah.
Where are the pyro-anarchists?
Across the street, there's a pyro-anarchist, pay what you want kind of coffee shop.
Can we just kidnap her?
Possibly. I was thinking maybe to try and chat and
Yeah.
then see if there's anything comes from a conversation before we go nuclear.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can I help you too? You're not paying customers, and we have a policy that if you don't buy something every 10 minutes, you might be thrown out.
I brought the dead body.
Right. Neve brought the dead body. You are dead weight.
Neve. She's mean.
But I guess it's true. What have you provided monetarily in the last 10 minutes?
You half-made of branches want to go and fight the pyromaniacs across the street. Do you not see how wild this sounds?
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I don't think you should go in to whatever this fight that they're about to go to is.
We've got to find a metal man.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe not the kind of people you want to associate yourself, Neve. I think they are bringing your value down. I'm going to be honest. No offense to you, Pores, but I'm going to need to ask you to leave because you are useless.
Mallet, given that he is furious and is taking personal offense at everything, he's definitely taking offense. You want to kick us out? Neve is with us. You're with us. Now come on.
Neve goes and raids the cash register to pay for expensive coffee, just to prove a point. I've got so much money now.
She just stole that from you.
You wouldn't understand. But this actually bolsters the economy because every time she makes a purchase like this, the GDP goes up.
All right, that's it. Well, I'm going to go bolster the economy and take the whole register then.
She turns to her crew and they all take out like golden sabers and gilded muskets and diamond-studded rapiers.
Now. That gold. It's very conductive. There's a little like spark out of his armor.
I put my hands up. Sorry. I drop, and then as I drop, all the lights are going to go out. I can you've given me your I'm angry face.
Mm.
So if I flip the lights and then I try and dive for her and see if I can pull her into the grey.
Okay, so make a roll. Remember that it's going to be risky.
7. No, 6.
6
Yeah.
is so take a D10 stress.
9.
Oh, no. Oh, wait, it's not 10. It's not 10.
It's not 10.
It's not 10 yet. You don't get followed at this point because this stress went into the secret ideology stress.
Okay.
Nevertheless, you grab Neve, you two disappear.
Yeah, I just pull her through the surface of the present life into the afterlife.
It's quiet. It's the same landscape that you're used to, Sam, but Lucy's no longer around.
Yeah. There's a moment where that feels very hollow. And then he's thinking, I did that without her. I'm basically almost on top of you at this point because I landed on you to do that. It's are you okay?
Well, I'm missing out on a debate, but
Oh shit, you're still okay.
So the room's dark for a second. And I imagine if you were outside of this coffee shop, the windows are black, and then you just hear a loud crack and the windows light up, bright white light, and
everyone's skeletons can be seen through their body briefly. So you don't need to roll for this, correct? It just happens.
it just happens.
Okay. It's quite likely that they will die, but it's not a guarantee.
Uh-huh.
And I said that it's 8 of them. Can you make me 8 D10 rolls? Roll the D10s. 1 to 7 is going to be them dying.
2 of them survive.
2 of them survive. One of them, of course, is Tiffany, the leader, and the other person is the waitress.
Would we have seen their souls
In the
shoot
grave.
past us in the grey?
Yeah, you tell me. You're the grey expert.
Yeah, because like things travel into the grey in order to travel on. So yeah, I think we would see their souls kind of like appear and then start to dissolve or move away or just do their own thing.
Do you think that Neve would also have seen these souls?
Probably, yeah. Like you're here in the you're
And she
here in
would
the flesh.
understands the implication.
All my friends are dead again.
Oh shit! Shit! I'm sorry we killed your friends. We'll make that right by not making them your friends anymore.
Sorry?
I don't know. I'm gonna pull you back into reality.
Now, just to be on the same page here, if it comes to player versus player attacks, are we all on board with that?
Oh,
if
yeah.
If it comes to it. Okay.
So Mallet's going to try and get past them as they're recovering and about to attack towards the sword, because this is close quarters. He's got his rifle, but he doesn't think he's got time to get it out and load it. And
Okay. So you want to grab the sword from the statue.
from the statue, yeah.
The way I picture it, the hands holding the sword is stone, and then the sword is metal. The pommel of the sword is a little too big. It's not like you can just slide it in or out. So I guess the easiest would be like breaking the stone.
He's got his combat shovel. Looks like a shovel blade with a tiny handle, but then he pulls the sort of telescopic handle out, and then he goes for just a massive swing against the wrist, assuming that it does break.
Technically, I'm supposed to make a roll at D8, but I think in this case, even if you rolled a 1, I would just judge that that's enough to break.
And then as it falls, the hand shatters and the sword is free on the floor,
Beautiful.
which
So
Mallet picks up.
the statue is now very, very Greek coded with the arm missing. You grab the massive, like stupidly big sword.
Mallet picks it up, hefts it, turns around to the other two that are still alive in the room, and then, assuming that they're still looking aggressive,
They are looking beyond aggressive. Not only have you killed a bunch of them, you have just broke a statue of their god king and took his holy weapon. One of them is launching a rapier thrust at you, the other shooting. It's
he's going to go for the one who's closest, which is launching the rapier at him. He's
okay.
gonna
That's
go
the
for a
waitress.
big overhead swing.
As you're doing that, Neve is crying out, "No, Mallet, please, don't kill more."
Oh god!
This thing's got too much momentum. It's swinging.
Make a kill roll here.
And risky, okay.
What was that? What chaos is happening?
I rolled 2 2s and a 1.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
it's a 2.
Okay. So that's a failure. Good D10 stress roll. What did you roll?
10.
You swing this massive sword. You see the waitress duck. And as she ducks, in that momentum of her movement, you see a logarithmic economic equation. You see the line go down and then pick up again and go forward to the sun. And you realize that you were guided by folly, yes. But you have the sword of Cinder now. I don't know how you're going to rationalize just having murdered a bunch of them. Maybe that was a purge that needed to happen. Maybe you will atone for it. It's up to you. But you are 100% a free market fourth worldist now. And that's not how I saw this session going.
We're gonna spend our entire lives being this.
Sam, you emerge, you see this, you see a whole bunch of dead people on the ground. You
Uh-huh.
see Mallet with a massive sword that's bigger
Uh-huh.
than you, whose mid-swing suddenly pondering and dollar signs appear in his irises. You hear Neve cry out. What are you going to do?
Mallet, no. No, come on, stay with me here.
Wait! It's me! I am the chosen one!
Oh god.
I am Cinder incarnate!
He's Cinder incarnate. All hail the god that will lead us to victory against the pyro anarchist across the street.
That isn't true.
It's true! I saw it with my own eyes!
What was it? What did you see?
I saw the downward graph detailing the fall of the pyro anarchists.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I think I was meant to purge the non-believers.
And we can, with Neve's new
False
economic theory,
believers.
we can charge all these corpses to finance our next plan.
So it was written.
So it was, well, it actually wasn't, but we'll figure that out.
You see Sam is just like staring upwards into the middle distance. His mouth is opening and closing. um, sure. Whatever. Anarchists, what?
This is a private function. Could you leave, please? Right, girls? Mallet? Do you want to be addressed as Cinder Lord now?
I believe that's what Cinder wanted.
Did he? Neve just trails off. Like, I don't know. I don't think Neve can actually reconcile 8 of her friends dying. Really?
One becoming a god.
Yeah. Maybe she has to make her own schism ideology. Post-Cinder economic free theory.
I imagine this place has those like really small paned windows. So he's just going to be at the window. It's just like looking in for a little while. It's like, oh God.
Bye-bye. Flips the closed and
Yeah.
open sign on the front door, so it now says closed.
This will be the first time that Sam has been alone in over 5 years. Because there's always been someone there. I'm going to knock on the door.
We must steel ourselves. The hour is nigh.
I'm going to knock again.
I think I need to go and lie down. You just like take yourself off. There was upstairs, I think. You've just gone.
Yeah. Should we open the door, Lord Cinder?
Yes, I believe we should.
You killed our doorman, so none of us have an economic incentive to open this door.
His hand is going to be on the knob of the door, and he's going to be focusing real hard, and then the knob of the door is going to start to rust. I have an ability called Entropy. When you touch a machine, construction, or a mechanism in focus, you can cause rust and decay where you touched it.
He rolled a one.
Doesn't help.
Yeah.
So that is a failure. Now you have 9 in ideology stress.
Yep.
Make a stress roll knowing full well that this is a formality.
7.
7. Well, you tell me
Yeah.
which part of this doorknob suddenly makes you think that free market fourth worldism
Yeah.
is the answer to everything.
I think it's the idea of being inside. And currently he is outside. And he is alone. And he just wants to be part of something. And I think you can convince yourself of anything if you were alone and you want to be part of something.
He's seen the light. You can feel it through the door. He has seen the beauty of the free market, the power of which comes from the fourth world. Neve, I am curious about the schism that
Yeah.
you're cooking up upstairs. What's the deal with that?
Well, we believe economics was
When you
better.
say we, do you mean you and the squirrel?
Yeah. We believe economics was much better before Mallet was reincarnated.
You know what? Just out of curiosity, can you make me a compel plus?
I do have an ability called Ascendancy, where I get to draw magic into an area. I could draw this weird energy and make it my own space, basically. Okay. I got an 8 then.
Okay, so that's going to be a success. You two, could you make me endure? Endure plus religion.
No. Okay, I've got 1 dice.
I have 1 dice.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 3.
Okay, Neve, your pre-mallet
Economic free theory.
economic three fury. You have replaced the original with your splinter group, And you two, Mallet and Sam, succumbing to Neve's influence. So what the fuck did you do upstairs?
Does that mean like you cease to exist as like an entity, Mallet?
Mallet's like, things were much better before I came along.
Well, again, to be clear, just like before you two, right? Like when you joined this ideology, it inherently made itself clear to you.
Yeah.
And you believe it now. So you're still part of this ideology. So you, Mallet, will just see the error of your ways. It's up to you how bad you want to feel about your... But I'm just curious, Neve has had, like, what is the emotional landscape that she occupies in the moment? Because she's had a rough week. And what exactly was her motivation to do this?
Seeing all her friends die again, who she met 10 minutes ago, but all the same, like, it reignited a lot of, like, trauma of friends disappearing, dying, potentially not being dead and lying to her. Just a lot of, like, confused trust issues with people she thinks are her friends. And now that... So it probably would have been a very loner doctrine until, I guess now, it has influenced other people.
Do you think that the doctrine has actually anything to do with free market anymore?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
What does this new ideology believe in?
Pacifism, I guess. Like, you're not going to kill your friends. And Neve's kind of on the side that you can be friends with anybody.
Okay.
She said she'll be friends with Echo, I guess. Try to.
Cinder and like his sword and everything, does he play any part in it?
No, we're pre.
Okay,
post-Cinder.
right.
Post-Cinder, pre-Mallet. Maybe we only use hammers to knock people out, and that's our form of pacifism.
Okay, so...
We don't kill them, we just use hammers. Because that doesn't draw blood.
There's something in here about like things were better when my friends hadn't changed. Like if you're talking about hammers as well, like Mallet has a sword now, but I had a hammer.
Mallet drops to his knees in tears, realizing the error of his ways.
Thank you, Mallet. I think you meant well, but truly, death is killing friends. It's just unsustainable.
I repent. Allow me to prove to you the change of my ways as I knock these pyro-anarchists unconscious with the flat of my blade.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I kind of want to zoom out a little bit and increase the pace of fiction here. Mallet, if you want to lead the charge, if somebody else wants to, just give me one roll. At this point, it's not risky because the risk was to become what you are now.
Yeah.
So does Mallet have permission from
Yeah,
you
no, Mallet can
to lead
fight.
the charge? Is it just 1d10 or what? What are we rolling?
Just make a kill roll.
So that's a 10.
10.
It's a 10.
Critical success with no stress.
Yeah.
Just give me a picture of you conquering the two buildings that pyro-anarchists hold.
We send Sam ahead to knock on
Yeah.
the door, and then as they open, Mallet's around the corner and he just swings his blade round on the flat and bonks one straight on the face.
And
And
I'm this weird semi-transparent blur backhanding people and using my death ability just to kind of like knock them out.
Your death ability, I'm assuming that's the attack that Lucy used to make.
Yeah.
What does it look now that you don't have Lucy?
Almost like a kind of a shadowy sort of like a shockwave that comes out of him, but it's coming from like, it's almost like his skin expands into them.
I don't know if Neve actually believes in her own theory. She's just sort of winging it, which might be a bit odd. And people are asking her stuff, and she's like, I don't know. We don't believe in that. Neve can't think of an entire congruent ideology herself. Like, she just hasn't got that ability to do it. So the gaps are filled in by other people.
But I also think that the less sure you are, the more fervor that brings to your followers. I'm going to say this being a critical success, both pyro-anarchists and the eco-chivalrists have been taken over. You now have this whole street. The street names change daily, but this used to be Coffee Street.
Yeah.
What is it now?
Oh, I think it'd be like the Street of Unconsciousness or something.
Okay, sure. Street of Unconsciousness.
Yeah, I think I have a question for this actually, which might be expanded. If we run on the theory that we knock everyone unconscious to take over their ideology. What happens if the last step is that we then decide that every person in that ideology then has to knock each other unconscious? And what happens to an ideology when no one is around to believe it?
There's many ideologies out there that
Yeah.
rely on the other. Like fascism
Yeah.
requires somebody to be against. And I don't think fascists worry too much about that. Obviously a contradiction, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. Unless, of course, you want to worry too much about it.
I'm wondering if we can kill Ideology Town.
A suicidal pacifist schism appears within the ideology, led by Sam, what it
Yeah.
sounds like to me, right?
Yeah.
Auto-defeatist, but you need to first conquer to then defeat yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
we have to take everyone over, and then that will give us the ability to take the next step. And the next step is annihilation of the ideology
Can you
as a
make
concept.
a compel roll? Compel and religion. And I'm just gonna see, this is not gonna be a success or fail. This is gonna
Okay.
be the higher your roll, the more people who believe in this ideology you manage to convince to join your
Yeah.
splinter group.
Yeah. 2 ones.
2 ones. Your ideology fails miserably. You have
Yeah.
one person, which is you.
Which is me. This is good for character building though, because he was terrified of the idea of not existing. So now he is fully on board.
Mallet naturally wants to spread the faith to all of the non-believers. Who are the least pacifist?
The least pacifist. Let me look at the list here, because I'm thinking xenolinguistic nudists are probably pretty on board generally with
I
you,
think we could just convince them without.
right? I'm thinking that nationalist nativists.
I was thinking that too, yeah. I think we go for all of the weaker groups first in order to present a united front against the nationalist nativists.
Could you make me another role that would symbolize your military campaign?
If anyone wants to help.
I can't, I've schismed.
Yeah. Nope. Okay. That's a 9.
9. Again, another successful no stress. Cinder used to be a revered general, but he only killed like 5 or 6 pyro-anarchists before. You are a proper general. You lead people into war. I guess Sam is trying...
I've been going door to door with leaflets.
Yeah, not very successfully. And Neve, what are you up to as Mallet fights for your ideology so successfully that you control a whole district of Ideology Town?
I think Neve, like, there's constantly a new person. Like, the anarchists had to come across and ask about the price of coffee as well. It used to be about coffee. Lots of people asking about the price of coffee. And now it's like, how do we tan leather if we're pacifists? And how do we...
Is semen vegan?
yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, Neve's time is spent up being asked inane questions and not having an answer. But maybe this is better, because now no one's going to die. I'll shoulder the burden, and none of my friends have to die because of it.
I'm going to say left paleoconservatives. They mount a massive counterattack. They have lured a bunch of your soldiers in, pretend to be knocked out, and then they stand up and stab them. They try to confuse them. They've exploded buildings. They've exploded bridges.
While this attack is going on, the best defense is a good offense. So Mallet is going to hunt for the leader of their faction
Okay, so make that roll.
with a crack team.
The crack team is because we crack people on the head.
That's a 10.
Oh, you are on fire.
Mallet, as you walk into, it's kind of the throne room. It's really just a used bookshop. The leader of left paleoconservatives, on her back, lying on the floor on a pile of books with your sword pressed to her. She's outnumbered and outgunned. And she pleads for mercy.
And mercy you shall have. And he turns the sword around and hits her with the bottom of it to knock her out.
Give me a risky endure religion roll.
This one gave me a 10 a minute ago. It's a 10!
You are kidding me. You are blessed.
I love this dice.
You are blessed. You should start a real cult.
There are now 3 schisms to this group. One led by Neve, who doesn't answer anyone's questions. One
singular.
one singular Sam. And there's Mallet, your extraordinary military might, somehow metastasized metaphysically to turn into its own powerful force.
I already thought that Mallet was going to do a coup at the end of this. So, yeah, he's launching the pacifist coup.
And what does that mean?
Mallet's thing was kind of almost like, people can't protect themselves, I can. And if it's a case of like pacifism, it's almost like making people passive.
Yeah. I like it. So I think, yeah, we're going back to a state-owned monopoly on violence here.
Amazing. When Sofina comes back from her soul searching, she will somehow, I don't fucking know how she's gonna do that, but she will somehow need to unite you all three again, become a team again, and good luck, Sofina, is all I can say.
Yep.
And we'll leave it here for tonight.
That's amazing.